What is going on, Pretender here, back with another Honkai Star Rail guide, and today I'm here with the full build guide for the upcoming 3.0, one of the rerunning characters, Feixiao. So in this video I'm going to be taking you over Eidolons, then taking you over her best Lightcone options, followed by that will be best Relic sets, and then Planar Ornaments, and then finally some Relic Mainstat and Substat recommendations. I plan on having a full build guide for every 3.0 character. There's already one for both the Herda and Linksha. You are now watching the Feixiao one. The Jade one will be out soon as well. And soon will be the ones for part 2 being Aglia, Bootil, Robin, and Silverwolf. So if you're interested in any of those characters, be sure to stick around. Before I get to the video, if you guys found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, dropping a like would be greatly appreciated. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for future videos like this along with all other types of Star Rail content. If you know anyone that may need a Feixiao guide, be sure to send them this video. Check the description to join the Discord and also my second channel, and let's get straight into the video. So Feixiao is a wind character following the path of Hunt. Her basic attack deals wind damage equal to 100% of Feixiao's attack to a single target enemy. Her skill deals wind damage equal to 200% of Feixiao's attack to a single target enemy, then immediately launches one instance of the talent's follow-up attack against the target. Her ultimate deals wind damage to a single enemy up to 700% of Feixiao's attack. During this time, can ignore weakness to reduce the target's toughness. When the target is not weakness broken, Feixiao's weakness break efficiency increases by 100%. During the attack, Feixiao first launches Bolt Thunder Blitz or War Axe Skyward on the target for a total of 6 times. At the end, deals wind damage equal to 160% of Feixiao's attack to the target. And as it does state, you can use either Bolt Thunder Blitz and War Axe Skyward. Bolt Thunder Blitz deals wind damage equal to 60% of Feixiao's attack to a chosen target. If the target is weakness broken, the damage multiplier increases by 30%. And War Axe Skyward deals wind damage equal to 60% of Feixiao's attack to a chosen target. If the target is not weakness broken, the damage multiplier increases by 30%. So pretty much you will be using Bolt Thunder Blitz if the target is indeed weakness broken, and then War Axe Skyward if they're not weakness broken, and if you still don't understand it, they have it highlighted for when they are weakness broken or not, so you can just follow the highlighted buttons. For talent, can activate ultimate when Flying Aureus reaches 6 points, accumulating up to 12 points. Feixiao gains 1 point of Flying Aureus for every 2 attacks by allied targets. Feixiao's ultimate attacks do not count towards this number. After Feixiao's teammates attack an enemy target, Feixiao immediately launches a follow-up attack against the primary target, dealing wind damage equal to 110% of Feixiao's attack. If there is no primary target available to attack, Feixiao attacks a random single enemy instead. This effect can only trigger once per turn, and the trigger count resets at the start of Feixiao's turn. When using this attack, increases damage dealt by this unit by 60% for 2 turns. For Technique, after using Technique, enters the Onrush state, lasting for 20 seconds. While in Onrush, pulls enemies within a certain range and increases this unit's movement speed by 50%. After entering battle, gains a point of Flying Aureus. While in Onrush, actively attacking enemies will start battle with all pulled enemies. After entering battle, deals wind damage equal to 200% of Feixiao's attack to all enemies at the start of each wave. This damage is guaranteed to crit. If more than one enemy is pulled in, increases the multiplier of the damage by 100% for each additional enemy pulled in, up to a maximum of 1000%. For our bonus traces, Turn A2, when the battle starts, gains 3 points of Flying Aureus. At the start of a turn, if no follow-up attack was launched via a talent in the previous turn, then this counts as 1 toward the number of attacks required to gain Flying Aureus. Turn A4, when using ultimate to deal damage to an enemy target, it is considered a follow-up attack, and follow-up attacks crit damage increases by 36%. At A6, when using skill, increases attack by 48% for 3 turns. For Eidolons, her E1, after using Bolt Thunder Blitz or War Axe Skyward, additionally increases the ultimate damage dealt by Feixiao by an amount equal to 10% of the original damage, stacking up to 5 times and lasting until the end of the ultimate action. Her E2, in the talent's effect, for every 1 instance of follow-up attack launched by allied targets, Feixiao gains 1 point of Flying Aureus. This effect can trigger up to 6 times per turn. Her E4, the toughness reduction from the talent's follow-up attack increases by 100%, and when launched, increases this unit's speed by 8% for 2 turns. And her E6, increases the all-type res pen of the ultimate damage dealt by Feixiao by 20%. Talent's follow-up attack damage is considered ultimate damage, and at the same time, its damage multiplier increases by 140%. Taking a look at some of the best Lightcone options for Feixiao, her best one is obviously going to be her own signature Lightcone, which provides you a 15% increase to crit rate. When the wearer launches a follow-up attack, gains a stack of Lumen Flux, stacking up to 2 times, and each stack of Lumen Flux enables the ultimate damage dealt by the wearer to ignore 27% of the target's defense. When the wearer's turn ends, removes 1 stack of Lumen Flux. So Feixiao's main source of damage does come from her ultimate, which is also considered a follow-up attack, and as she is also a follow-up attack character that's able to follow-up attack quite frequently, it's very easy to gain these stacks of Lumen Lumen Flux, and on top of that, the 15% crit rate is extremely important for Feixiao, as you want to get as much crit rate on Feixiao as possible. And stacking both the Lumen Flux is extremely easy, and once you do stack it twice, which is only needing to use 2 follow-up attacks, you get a 54% defense ignore when using your ultimate, and the ultimate damage dealt to that target, which is absolutely broken. And she's able to once again make full use of this Lightcone, as once again, she is a follow-up attack character who can frequently follow-up attack, and her ultimate is also considered a follow-up attack, so even that can go towards it. Let's say if you only have 1 stack and you pop the ultimate, maybe you have 1 stack, you use the ultimate, now you have 2, and you can have the overcap of the actual Flying Aurea stack, so you can use the ultimate again, and then boom, that gets the full effect. Overall, everything this Lightcone provides and how easy it is to stack on her makes this her far and none best option. Another fantastic option is actually Dr. Ratio's signature Lightcone, which provides the wearer a 20% increase to crit damage, and for every debuff on the enemy target, the wearer's crit damage dealt against the target additionally increases by 8%, stacking up to 3 times. When using ultimate to attack the enemy target, the wearer receives the dismutation effect, which increases damage dealt by 36% and enables the follow-up attacks to ignore 24% of the target's defense for 2 turns. This is also a fantastic one because it also gives a crit damage buff, which is still really good for Feixiao, and that additionally gets increased with the more debuffs you have on them, which is really easy thanks to her best teams always having a form of a debuffer, such as on the premium follow-up attack team, you have Topaz of Aventurine who can provide debuffs. Maybe if you're running Moze instead of Topaz, Moze can also provide debuffs, and you can also just take a debuff to get the full effect of this Lightcone. And even if you don't get all 3 debuffs, maybe you have 1 or 2, it's still really powerful since you get the 20% at base, and then you get the additional 8% for 1, then 60% for 2, then 24% for 3. Even if you don't have all 3 stacks, it's still very powerful. And then the last part of this Lightcone is extremely powerful as well, because once you do use the ultimate, you get the disputation effect, and now your damage dealt will be increased by 36%, and follow-up attacks now ignore 24% of the target's defense, which is gonna also benefit her ult, because once again, her ultimate is indeed considered a follow-up attack, so the ultimate will also ignore 24% of the target's defense, making this another fantastic option for Feixiao. Another good one is actually Topaz's signature Lightcone, which provides an 18% increase to crit rate and increases damage dealt by follow-up attacks by 30%. After the wearer uses a follow-up attack, inflicts a target with a tame state, stacking up to 2 times. When allies hit enemy targets under the tame state, each tame stack increases the crit damage dealt by 12%. So for her own personal damage, this is still really good because 18% crit rate is higher than her signature, an extra 3% at that, so that's going to be really good for her stats. On top of that, a 30% increase to follow-up damage, so that's going to be good for her overall follow-up damage as well. And on top of that, the crit damage you do deal against enemies that do have the tame stacks, which she will be inflicting, will also benefit her. So the enemy you do attack that has the tame stack will be taking that increased crit damage, which will make her, in short, do more damage. And on top of that, will make your team do more damage as well. So on top of that, you do get your team doing more damage, while Feixiao also still does more damage as well, making this another fantastic option. And then the last limited 5-star option is Zele's Lightcone, which provides an 18% crit rate, and while the wearer is in battle for every 10 speed that exceeds 100, increases damage dealt by basic attack and skill by 6%. At the same time, increases crit damage of the ultimate by 12% and can stack up to 6 times. This Lightcone is only good if you are intending to build a faster Feixiao, since Feixiao can be built both slower, where the team builds her the stacks, or faster, where the team still builds her the stacks, but she can also build more herself. And if you are running her with speed boots and also trying to make her faster, then this Lightcone can be used even if you're up to maybe 140 speed alone, because that'd be an extra 40 above the 100, so you're getting a bunch of this buff, and on top of that, the crit rate buff itself is already really nice. So every 10 speed you do go up, this Lightcone will be very beneficial to people that are building a fast Feixiao. Unfortunately, this doesn't strictly affect follow-up damage, but skill damage will be affected, so the skill you do will do more damage, and on top of that, the crit damage of the ultimate will do more damage as well. So if you are intending to build a faster Feixiao, Zele's Lightcone is also a great option. Another great option is the free-to-play Herder Shop Lightcone, which provides an 8% increase to crit rate and increases crit rate against enemies with HP percentage less than or equal to 50% by an extra 8. And when the wearer defeats an enemy, their attack is increased by 20% for 2 turns, and at S5, that's a 16% base crit rate increase, and attacking enemies that have less than or equal to 50% HP get an additional 16%, and when you do defeat an enemy, attack is now increased by 40%. So this is fantastic because the base 16% crit rate is already really nice, and on top of that, when you are attacking enemies that have 50% or lower HP, you get up to a 32% increase in crit rate, which is absolutely absurd. And considering how fast Feixiao can wiggle down HP, this can be something you get pretty often, and how easy it is to defeat enemies on the side with Feixiao. 40% attack increase you get is practically almost always going to be up, so that extra 40% attack you do get is also going to be absolutely fantastic, and overall it makes this another fantastic option you can run. Another option you can use is Swordplay. What it does is for each time the wearer attacks the same target, damage dealt increases by 8%, stacking up to 5 times, and will be dispelled when the wearer changes targets. And at S5, the stacking goes up to 16%. This is mainly best when you are focusing down a boss with Feixiao, which is very often. Only issue is this will require you to use switching with the skill less, since often people can switch to an enemy on the side, maybe kill them with the skill, and then the follow-up attack home homes to someone else. Unfortunately, you will not be able to do that because then this Lightcone will not be stacked, and it's mainly going to be best to focus on the elite and boss enemies with Feixiao excels at. So if you are able to make use of the Lightcone by focusing down a target, that makes this Lightcone very, very powerful, but if you keep switching, then it's going to lose its value. So in the right circumstances, it can be very powerful. Another option you can use is the free-to-play Final Victor Lightcone, which provides a 12% increase to attack, and when the wearer lands a crit hit on an enemy, gains a stack of good fortune, stacks up to 3 times, and every good fortune stack increases the wearer's crit damage by 8%, and it will be removed at the end of the wearer's turn. And then at S5, it's a 20% attack increase, and the crit damage stack is now 12%. As Feixiao is able to hit multiple times their ultimate up to 6, and then plus the last hit, you're able to stack up the crit damage from this Lightcone, so the ultimate just does more damage and more damage and more damage and more damage until the end, so you're able to make use of that in the ultimate especially. And even outside of the ultimate, when you do your skill follow-up, you might have another attack that procs, such as March follow-up or Topaz Numby, and then you get another follow-up, it can benefit off that as well. And then the base 20% attack increase is nice, but once again, this Lightcone will mainly be focusing on the ult since you can attack multiple times to stack up this Lightcone easily in the ultimate, assuming you do crit, and making this another good free-to-play option. One of the best relic sets for Feixiao, overall her best one is going to be the 4-piece of the Wind Soaring set, which increases attack by 12% and increases the wearer's crit rate by 6%. After the wearer uses a follow-up attack, increases damage dealt by the ultimate by 36% for 1 turn. So 2-piece of an attack percent increase is nice, 4-piece giving you an extra 6% crit rate is also nice, and this relic set does focus mainly on her main source of damage being ultimate. You just proc a follow-up attack, which is very easy with Feixiao considering how often she's able to do it, and now you have a 36% increase to damage dealt for her ultimate, which once again is her main source of damage and is going to make it do that much more damage thanks to the 4-piece increasing it the damage dealt by that much, making the Wind Soaring set overall her best option. Another fantastic option is actually 4-piece of the Eagle set, which the 2-piece gives a 10% increase to wind damage, and the 4-piece after the wearer uses their ultimate, their action is advanced forward by 25%. This one is going to be situational to the people that are running a fast Feixiao, since if you run this set and you hit the certain thresholds, because do note to get action advanced such as stuff like DDD or the Eagle set specifically, to give you more actions in that cycle, you do need to hit certain action value thresholds, so be sure to note that down. But the 2-piece giving you 10% wind damage is going to be beneficial to her, and the 4-piece if you are building Feixiao fast and you're able to hit those thresholds. For example, a common one would be getting Eagle set hitting around 172 to 173 speed, and obviously would be less if you have someone running DDD on the team. Then this Lightcone can help you achieve more turns in that cycle, which is going to be extremely powerful, especially while stacking her up, and can also equate to more damage because more turns can equate to more damage rather than one bigger hit. Overall, making Eagle set another fantastic option if you are able to hit certain thresholds. Another great set is the Grand Duke set, which the 2-piece gives you a 20% increase to follow-up attack damage, and the 4-piece when the wearer uses a follow-up attack increases the wearer's attack by 6% for every time the follow-up attack deals damage. Effect stacks up to 8 times, lasts for 3 turns, and is removed the next time the wearer uses a follow-up attack. Again, since her actual follow-up attack can proc often, it's nice, so the 2-piece increasing the damage for that specifically is going to be beneficial, but the 4-piece is pretty easily stackable thanks to her ultimate hitting multiple times, so you're able to gain a pretty hefty bonus from the 4-piece as well during the ultimate, which will increase this damage as the ultimate does go on. And the 2-piece will also be benefiting the ultimate damage since it's also considered a follow-up attack, so both the 2-piece and 4-piece being beneficial to mainly focusing on her ultimate damage, while also slightly benefiting her actual follow-up attack, makes this another fantastic option you can use. Past that is pretty much just combining 2-piece and 2-pieces, so you can do 2-piece of one of the attack percent increasing sets, so Wind Soaring, the Dot set, also Musketeers, combining it with 2-piece of the Duke set for the follow-up damage increase since the 2-piece on that is really good. You can also do 2-piece of one of those, 2-piece Eagle sets since it increases the wind damage she will deal, or you can combine 2-piece of one of those and also do 2-piece of the Scholar set because it does provide 8% crit rate, so that's going to be nice. Overall, I definitely recommend getting 4-piece Wind Soaring set because that's overall going to be your best. Unless you're able to hit certain thresholds and certain speed tuning, then Eagle technically becomes their best, and if neither of those, you can also just do 4-piece of the Grand Duke set. Past that is just once again combining 2-piece of one of the attack percents with the follow-up set, or 2-piece Scholar, or 2-piece Wind. For Planar Ornaments, her best one is going to be the Duran set, which when an ally uses a follow-up attack, the wearer gains a stack of merit stacking up to 5 times. Each stack of merit increases damage dealt by the wearer's follow-up attack by 5%, and when you have 5 stacks, increases the wearer's crit damage by 25%. Feixiao is usually always ran with 1 or 2 other follow-up characters, so stacking this up is extremely easy. On top of that, this ornament does actually count the wearer themselves to stack it up, it's not just allies, so her follow-up attacks can stack it up too, and you can practically stack this up nearly right away with the right team. So very easy to stack up, giving you 25% damage out to follow-up attacks, which once again will apply to her ult, and then also the 25% increase to crit damage when you have 5 stacks will benefit her overall damage when you do crit, making this her best install option. Another fantastic one is Inner Salsado, which provides an 8% increase to crit rate, and when you do have 50% or higher crit rate, damage dealt by the wearer's ultimate and follow-up attack increases by 15%. So 8% crit rate, it's going to be really nice, and once you do have 50% 50% or higher, which you will want much more than 50% on Feixiao. Damage up by the wearer's ultimate and follow-up attack increased by 15%, which will benefit her actual ultimate and her also follow-up attack. So both her main sources of damage, especially her ultimate, will be benefiting as well, making this another fantastic option you can use. Another set you can actually use is the Izmo set, which increases the wearer's attack by 12%, and when entering battle, if one teammate follows the same path as the wearer, then the wearer's crit rate increases by 12%. Often you use Feixiao with someone like Topaz especially, or also Moze or Hunt March 7th. Usually always for her best teams, you will have another Hunt character, which will allow you to make use of those ornament. There are some teams where you might not actually have another Hunt character, but make sure if you are using another Hunt character on the team, then you are able to use Izmo, because if you don't have another Hunt character on the team, then this ornament becomes useless and just a 12% attack increase, which makes it a lot less powerful. Still not going to be better than the other options of running Durin or Salsado, but still a good option for your crit rate, making this another good option. Or the main stats on the relics. For the body, you want to have mainly crit rate because you want to get as much crit rate as possible, but if you have a bunch of crit rate rolls, then you can also opt to do a crit damage body. For the feat, you can do either attack percent or speed. Attack percent if you want more damage from Feixiao, but your teammates are going to be the fast ones generating her stacks because that is possible. But speed can just be as good since Feixiao will gain more attacks and be able to stack herself faster and also do more damage output, so it becomes personal preference at that point. For the orb, you want to do wind damage, and for the link rope, you want attack percent. For the substats, first, if you are doing a speed boots Feixiao, then you want to make sure you just hit breakpoint speed, and anything past that is something you can get, and that'll be nice. Something you don't have to look out for unless you are using the Eagle set, then you're going to need to hit really high thresholds. But if you're running attack percent boots on Feixiao, then you do not need to get any speed whatsoever, and then you'd focus on the ones past that being your generic DPS rolls such as crit rate, crit damage, and attack percent. Mainly looking out for crit rate because again, you want to get closest to 100% crit rate as possible. Around 80 to 85 is going to be your minimum. Since Feixiao attacks a lot, you definitely want to make sure you do get the crit a lot, and she gives herself a good amount of crit damage, so be sure to focus on crit rate. Crit damage rolls obviously are going to be very beneficial, and then attack percent are really good as well. So once again, if you're running speed boots, make sure you hit the breakpoint, so 134 or higher if you are using the Eagle set. If you're not, then you don't have to focus on speed, and then for both speed and attack percent, past that would be the crit rate, crit damage, attack percent rolls. And yep, that is the full build guide for Feixiao. Once again, hope you guys found the video helpful. If you did, be sure to drop a like on the video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for future videos like this, along with all other types of Star Wars content. And yep, that's all I want to say. Peace out.